If you want to get ahead in life, if you want to be noticed by the right people, by the right decision makers, there's only one thing you have to do. You have to know what they're looking for. You have to know the deliverables they are looking for and learn how to out deliver and exceed their expectations. That's the only way. But here's the funny thing. Once you get to have a crystal clear picture as to where you want to go, and you set your hearts and you set your mind, you say, this is exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to find a way to out deliver, then what's going to happen is, my friend, all hell is simply going to break loose. This is a fact of life. It always happens. As a matter of fact, there's a beautiful saying that been passed on from generation to generation that goes like this. If you want to make the big man up there, if you want to make God himself have a good laughter in the morning, simply wake up and tell him, God, this is exactly what I'm going to do. And guess what's going to happen? He's going to start laughing. This fool, look at what he wants to do. Not because he doesn't want you to achieve anything, but simply because in order for you to go on to manifest something, you are going to be tested. And this is what most people ignore. And when the going gets tough, what happens is they end up quitting because they don't understand that the struggle is part of the manifestation. The struggle is part of the achievement. The struggle, is a matter of fact, is part of the signature story you're supposed to bring to us. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You wake up in the morning, this is what I want to do, and everything goes exactly as you wanted it to go. Because if that were easy, everyone would be a hero. But heroes are precisely those who are going to encounter obstacles and still find a way to go around the obstacle, go over the obstacle, go under the obstacle, and simply find a way to blast the obstacle and go through the obstacle. That's how heroes are actually made. So, as far as business is concerned, your organization, the executive team, the management team, they are looking for people who know what the KPIs are. So the key performance indicators, something that can be measured. They are looking for those who understand that. At the same time, they are looking for not just people who come to work every single day and know they are super smart and do exactly the bare minimum. No! They are looking for people who are going to know the KPIs, the key deliverables, and simply go over and simply exceed the expectation, because this is how business get to stay relevant. This is how your organization will get to stay relevant. This is how the community is going to stay relevant when it comes to the marketplace. Unless and until we come to a place where we simply say ourselves we're going to find a way to out-deliver and exceed expectation, you are simply going to slowly but surely start walking backward and become completely irrelevant, because there are going to be some young guns out there that are going to come, basically, no pun intended, all guns blazing and ready to do anything to simply be noticed and to simply move ahead. And that's exactly where your mentality has to be as far as business is concerned, as far as your life is concerned as an entrepreneur, as far as your life is concerned as an employee. Before I can get to how to overcome any obstacle and to exceed the expectation, let me just tell you a couple of stories to demonstrate the fact that whenever you set your mind to make something happen, there's always going to be obstacle to test you. Two examples. The first example I shared on numerous occasions in 1960, when this young man out of Ethiopia by the name of Abebe Bikila arrived in Rome. He was supposed to be part of this the marathon taking place in Rome. But the day of the event, when he went to the event, he realized that there was no shoes for him. So he had now to run on a pavement that his body was not familiar. That was the biggest test. But guess what happened is, he simply said, I'm going to find a way to make things happen, because I didn't come this far to go back home empty-handed with a story simply saying that there was no shoes for me as far as the competition was concerned. Guess what? He went into the race, people started laughing at him, and he won in a commanding manner and made history. I've shared the story on numerous occasions. I'm not going to spend too much time on that one. The second story is in 1968, the Kenyan runner by the name of Kip Keino, when he arrived in Mexico City for his event, which was the 10,000-meter event. The day of the event, he was doing absolutely fine. He made things happen to the point where he reached the finals. On the day of the finals, what happened is they started running. But with only 2 laps to go to close the race and eventually be crowned, the champion as far as the 10,000 meter was concerned, he started experiencing excruciating pain in his abdomen. He tried his very best to overpower the thoughts of the feeling of pain, but the pain became simply unbearable that his whole body shut down. So he found himself on the sideline and simply lying there. As he's lying there, the doctor come attending to him, and they realized after doing a few tests that this young man had gallstones. If you ever come close to anything to that, you're going to know that the pain can be excruciating. So the young man was in pain. They said to him, you cannot continue because your race is too demanding on your body. If you continue, you can kill yourself. The young man realized that his dream as for the 10,000 meter was crushed. But he left home. He left his family. He left his people. He left his community back in Kenya. He told them that he was going to go there and do like Caesar. He was going to arrive, he was going to see, and he was going to win, he was going to conquer. But you see, if I go back home empty-handed, they will simply say to me, so why did you go to Mexico City? You went to Mexico City as a tourist. He said, I have to simply find a way to exceed the expectation I set on the people back home. He went home to rest and realized that his 10,000 meters dream was crushed. A few days later, he entered the 5,000 race against the medical staff advice. He tried, but he only secured second position and won silver. The last race that he decided to enter was the 1,500 meter. The day of the race, he arrived by cab. So as he arrived in a taxi, there was traffic around the Aztec Stadium. So they could not actually get closer to the stadium. So that was another obstacle. So first of all, gallstone. Number 2, broken expectation. Number 3, taxi breaks being stopped closer to the Aztec Stadium. It was not just like a few meters to run, but it was a few blocks to run to reach the Aztec Stadium. He paid the cab driver and he got out of the taxi and he started running in the sweltering heat of Mexico City. He ran until he reached Aztec Stadium. By the time he got there, they realized that yes, the race was about to start. Then he remembered, he said, the doctor said to me, if you keep pushing, you're going to kill yourself. The day of the event I come, the taxi broke down. So maybe this is a sign from God that I should not participate. I should just go home empty-handed. But the guy simply said, I'm here to exceed expectation. So no matter what, I'm going to be in the starting lineup. And that's what he did. The gun went off and he was not amongst the first people at the front. Because he was still trying to assess himself and to see how things were going to go. But at one point, as they were getting closer to the finish line, he simply says, there is a guy ahead of me. This guy is known for his power to actually overtake anybody in the lead. So the only way for me to win this race will be to go on, take the lead, and create a massive gap between myself and this guy. Because if the gap is 5 meters, this guy will still be able to overtake me. If the gap is 10 meters, he's still going to find a way to overtake me. This guy is known as a very dangerous finisher. So let me now take the lead, but I need to take the lead and simply exceed the expectation that this guy has when it comes to the one in the lead. So he takes the lead and he started running exactly like a madman, like the man who simply saying, this is going to be possibly my last or my final race. So I need to give it my 1,000%. And when you look at the video of the race, you're going to see that this guy was now giving it his all. He created a gap so wide between himself and the rest of the competition that by the time the race was over, it was as if the race was only run by one person, because it took a few seconds for the other people to appear in the picture. And in doing that, not only he broke the record, but he basically turned himself now into a national hero as far as Kenya is concerned. Why? Because by the time people realized that this guy had been suffering from gallstones, and the doctor told him, if you keep running, you can possibly kill yourself. When they realized the story, when they realized the obstacle that were in the way, this guy was now elevated into a place of iconic leadership or iconic legend as far as the world of track and field is concerned. Now, back to you. When it comes to how to get ahead and how to deliver on your expectation, here's what's going to happen. It's very simple. You have to remember the goal. What is the goal that you had when you decided to enter the race? And when you remember the goal, the end aim that you have in mind, then you simply have to focus on the goal and not the obstacles in front of you, not the distraction, not the drama around you. Because you know what? Drama will always show up when you decide to set your mind. There will never be any drama. There will never be any obstacle. There will never be any challenge as long as you're living your life exactly how it has been so far. But the minute you decide to do something memorable, my friend, that's when you have to expect an obstacle. And when the obstacle shows up, my friend, it's not there to crush you, but it's simply there to help you remember one key thing. What is the goal? As soon as you remember what the goal is, I want you to give your goal your 100% and simply starve your distraction. When you starve your distraction, when you starve anything that seems completely against your goal, my friend, that's how and when you're simply going to become unstoppable. That's how you simply going to find the second wind or the second engine within your body to keep going and to power through all these obstacles and overcome in a commanding manner. Again, first question is, remember what is the goal. When you remember what is the goal, the second thing to do is to simply stop the distraction. Do not pay the obstacle any mind. Focus on your goal. Number three, give your goal your 1000%. Be fully present. When you are fully present and you start running towards your prize like a madman, like a madwoman was only focusing on the goal, what's going to happen is, indeed, you're simply going to become unstoppable. You're gonna become noticed, and you're gonna move ahead and go on to become an iconic person as far as your field is concerned. Alright, I'm gonna stop right here. Thanks very much for watching this video. Before I go, just a couple of things. If you're enjoying this kind of content and you'd like to see more of this kind of content, my friend, look no further. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, so the next time we put together a video, you can be amongst the first one to see the video. Alright, I'm gonna stop right here. Take good care, my friend. The best is yet to come. But now for the best to be manifested, you have to remember one simple formula. Remember the goal. Number one, start your distraction and give your goal your 1000%. When you do that, my friend, you are simply going to become unstoppable. Sky is not even going to be a limit anymore. I'm out.